Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam. Corey, we're live. Corey.
What? I'm Corey Baumeister. What's up? Yeah.
We've got Rob in the booth too. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Have you seen the art on that card though? That's nice. I'm sorry. I was just longing for the Yorion side. My bad. We're live? Okay. I'm Corey. Yep.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Might even hop in to play some games for the next show. Who knows?
Yeah, I think seeing the actual art of this card on your side, I don't even know if I can play this final round. I'm just at distress. It looks even more beautiful in person.
Okay. Well, make sure to tag at Star City Games so Rob can see your comments. Send his favorites over to us. This is our Rakdos Prowess Gauntlet. So far, 1-1, losing to Lurrus Jund and defeating Gruul Obosh.
Yep.
And now the final test of Yorion.
The end boss, yeah.
And really to test if Corey can, physically handle defeating what is probably his favorite card printed in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, as we mentioned before the break, this is Temur Yorion Scapeshift. This list comes from Edgar Magalhaes, who won one of the Modern Challenges last weekend.
Yep.
One of the breakout decks, 2 in the top 8 of the Lotus Box event. I think definitely it was also the most played deck in that event.
Makes sense, because this deck was basically last week's super hot deck like Rakdos
won
is
a
this
super
week.
Qualifier that week.
And then everybody tried it.
Tuned over the course of that week. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it really, it showed up. Sometimes a deck comes out, wins a super qualifier, and then you don't really hear about it again.
Yeah.
It's a flash in the pan. This deck is now, a tier 1 deck in the metagame. Definitely a great test for Rakdos Prowess.
Yeah.
Really cool matchup because we've talked all afternoon about Rakdos Prowess's ability to grind in these Lurrus mirrors and against other decks and have a strong late game. If you try to do that against this deck, Scapeshift eventually ends your day.
Yeah. And honestly, what I see as both of these decks, if you kind of just look back, like why did they come to be, right? And it makes sense there because it's just Temur or Rosa, but the deck didn't have a huge big finish, and Urza is necessarily not amazing right now like it was before. So that seems like the evolution of Temur Rosa, and this seems like the evolution of red-white Prowess Burn. And they're just targeting the metagame in more specific ways. Now the metagame's going to adjust to these decks, and who knows what's going to be the best deck for next week. But that's what I see as the evolution of these two piles.
And the real key on the Prowess side is recognizing that you have such a strong late game now with Lurrus, and you should be playing to that, and things like Cling to Dust are fine with your Prowess game plan, but also good late. And then on the Yorion side, they recognize that having Yorion here every game and this pile of cantrips, Abundant Growth, Arkham's Astrolabe, Ice Van Coatl, and so on, gives you such inherent card advantage that you're generally set there. You play your Mystic Sanctuaries and your Cryptic Commands, a little bit of interaction, but what you're missing is that late game punch. And while really powerful threats like Urza or Teferi in Bant control did for a while ago were that card that put the game out of reach, now decks have so much card advantage that you need to go even bigger, and Scapeshift just ends the game.
Just ends it.
And normally they can say, I'll just Thoughtseize it on their hand or what have you. You've got Mystic Sanctuary and fetch lands to get it back.
That's the most disgusting thing.
Really annoying.
The fact that Mystic Sanctuary has always been this thing that gets back counter spells, which is great. Gets back Archmage's Charms, Cryptic Commands, has been like the main thing. Getting back Veil was kind of the cute thing to protect your next turn. That's been very good, but getting back a combo card, just a one card you're dead, is an extra element to this, and it's very scary to play against. That's why hand disruption's not very good. And one thing I love about Yorion in this deck is it's basically turn 7, turn 6 where you Scapeshift for the win, or at least you could. So Yorion is a perfect setup to that, where you just play Yorion. It's a big body that they have to deal with in some regard, but then they draw just like 3 cards. So if you didn't have the combo, now you have a much higher chance of having it for that next turn. So it really slots that mid-range setup.
Yeah.
Very nicely.
It's really at the perfect slot in the card for the deck. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So this matchup, I think, is going to be a premier matchup moving forward for the next week or two at the very least. In Modern. So that's our finale here. We're playing for the marbles.
Let me grab them. Yeah. And honestly, I do think this is the best deck in Modern. Personally, like right now, if you have to pinpoint one, that's not something that we need to take as definitive or anything, because Modern, there's just so many good decks. But right now, if I were to play a Magic Online tournament where I wanted to win, I'd play that. And that's tough for me to say, betraying my precious cat and bird combo, but...
Well, if I were to play Magic Online Modern Tournament right now, I would play that deck.
Yeah, and honestly,
so of course we're on the other side of it.
It's really good, but I also just thinking of what people are going to play, it's just going to be a lot of mirrors, and that feels like lucky to me. So I would want to pivot to that, but I would not fault anyone for playing this deck because it's super strong.
Yep.
All right, so I lost, so I get to be on the play. No. This one's close. This one's really close. I've kept one-landers all day, and I said I'd do it again, but this one has a glaring problem, and we have some bad cards in the matchup in the form of Fatal Push and Kolaghan's Command, and it's not a Blood Crypt, so I'm going to mulligan this one. I think it's too high of chance that I get punished. On the draw, I think I'd keep it again, though.
I would keep this hand blind, not knowing the matchup.
Yep.
Though once I see a Lurrus, it's a little slow against Lurrus decks, but we're seeing enough cards that I think we have to keep it.
Okay. Lucky.
I'm not thrilled about this hand.
Lucky.
Definitely get run over by a strong draw from Corey's side.
Okay, perfect. I like that. Hey, Rob, you got a question while I shuffle up here?
What do you think about like the playing Bring to Light in the Scapeshift deck? Should they be leaning more toward that toolboxy way, or just being Temur the right way to build these right now?
Canister tried it, and I'm going to definitely trust him on his assessment. He just said it was not worth it nor good.
Yeah. I don't want to play at Sorcery Speed.
Yeah.
Especially with a 5-mana card that gets Mystical Disputed in Yorion Mirrors.
Yeah.
I don't think you need the consistency in finding Scapeshift because you have Uro as a backup plan and you have so many cantrips that you find it. And then once you find it, Mystic Sanctuary always gets it back.
And you just get to play the control deck. You're making yourself more of a gimmicky deck with Bring to Light when you don't need to be. You don't need to Scapeshift on turn 6. You know, you can Scapeshift on turn 13 and just Uro them to death and stuff like that. And I think that's just better. So
not a fan.
Okay, I am going to keep. I think we're going to get rid of this Fatal Push. It's essentially dead. This hand's not great, though. I will definitely say that. So I'm going to take 2 and play a Soul Scar.
Okay,
pass to you.
You're at 18. I am going to go to 19, get an island, and play an Arkham's Astrolabe.
Sigh. It just looks so fun over there already. You get to draw a card.
Yeah, your go after that.
All right. Untap. Draw. Not insanely good draw.
My Astrolabe.
Okay. Now the question is, if we look at my hand, Rob, this is actually interesting, which one to play here. I think I want to gain a little bit more value off this. So I think I'm actually going to even play this land, which seems weird, but just to give myself versatility next turn with this, and then just play this and attack for 1.
So I'm at 18.
Pass to you.
Ross, Yards would like to know what you think about playing with snow basics.
That sounds like a loaded question that someone might already know the answer. I have enjoyed when I did my drop and bomb for this, I got to put in my full art lands that I love so much, you know, and then I missed one of the mountains and it was just like the basic mountain. So every time I drew it, I'm just like, oh God, I wish I had snow lands and I couldn't make this egregious error. Okay.
Pass the turn.
Okay, well, untap. Ooh, pretty good draw here. We're going to start with an Abbot.
Resolves.
Okay. I have this. I'm going to fetch, get a Blood Crypt. My life total doesn't really matter that much.
So you're going to 15.
Yep. I'm going to 15, and then I'll play the Seal.
Yep. Actually, my bluff of Icefang Quaddle is no longer worth anything because of the Seal. So let's respond to these triggers.
So you're down to 17, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm down to 17. I am going to filter for a green and play a Growth Spiral.
Okay.
See what I draw.
Yeah, if you draw Galvanic Blast, you could kill a Soulscar Mage here. Okay.
I'll put Steam Vents onto the battlefield tapped, and you're good to go.
Take 4.
I will go to 13.
Your turn. Now we're threatening lethal with a couple good spells. We only have 2 cards, so it's not super likely, but definitely a possibility. Rabble. Lurrus is surprisingly not that good in this matchup, because you are just going over the top. I really just turn into a Prowess deck and Lurrus if I'm just like getting flooded, but otherwise I'm just trying to do my Prowess game.
I'll fetch to 12.
Okay, 12 to 15.
We'll continue getting basics to preserve our life total.
Okay.
This time I will get a forest. I will cast a search for tomorrow.
Okay.
I will get another island with that. Then I will filter the island into green mana, and I will play Renin 6 and minus on the Abbot.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Hopefully I'm not dead, but did I played a land? Yeah, I played this fetch. I cast that.
Searched, yep.
Okay, you can go.
Alrighty. Interesting draw. Guess it's not that interesting. Let's start with a Abbot.
Yep.
Okay, so that represents 2 spells and 2 damage.
I'm dead.
Are you just to that?
It's exactly lethal, yeah.
Well, I only have 2 attackers.
Yeah, so that's... Oh, no, because this isn't a spell. So, you need one more spell.
Okay, I do have a spell, but I do have this, so let's see.
Yeah, so that's lethal.
3 spells, this would be
Those are
8,
4s.
9, 10, 11, 12. Exacxes. Exacxes up top. Brutal. Lava Dart coming through clutch. Yeah, because I Inquisition you.
I just didn't find interaction after a hand with cantrips, but I was going to have Cryptic for the next couple turns and just look behind Scapeshift. You're going to Inquisition the Abundant Growth, which is pretty good.
Yeah, on the draw without spot removal, it's a little tough. I think the deck usually has like 6, right? Like 4 Galblast, 2 Bolts or something, and then post board you get to...
I think this list is all 4 ofs, was Edgar's list, so it's just 4 Bolts, 4 Ice Fang.
Oh, wow, no Galblast, huh?
Yeah,
I guess you don't play enough artifacts, but yeah, Exacxes. Ooh. Yes, that's nice. So for anybody, just to clarify, if you didn't see this, 1 spell, 2 spell, flashback would be the 3rd spell. These are going to attack for 8. 2 lava dart damage to the face would be 10. 2 more from seal is 12. Exacxes. Pretty wild. That was turn 4 kill.
Yeah.
Turn 4 kill through a little bit of disruption. Too.
I had 1 removal spell with the Renin 6 on the Abbot.
Yep. Usually not a lot. That's not a lot, against these decks. 1 more bolt would have definitely bought you probably 2 more turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just have to hope to find Scapeshift or stabilize with the Yorion somehow. But
all right, well, Team Kitty Cat is 1 game away from holding down the marbles here, keeping it on lock. We're going to take a short, 3-minute break here, and we'll be right back with sideboarding here on Versus Live.
Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Yorion, Temur, Scapeshift, and Lurrus, Rakdos, Prowess. On my side, the obvious card to cut is Remand against a deck with such a low curve. It's just not giving you much tempo. Yeah. I am also cutting Renin 6. I just don't think you have time to establish this card. You need to be interacting a lot. So you can't really play it early. And you don't really, once it gets like turn 5, it's a very low impact card.
And it incentivizes you to be taking 1 damage a turn from your sack lands to gain value from it. And that adds up. Honestly, at some point, I think it's a liability because everyone's trained to put a sack land in your graveyard and then bring it back, right? And I think the damage against Prowess is pretty bad. Plus, it's only good against Abbot. Like, I have a bunch of 1/2s, So, I think Ren is actually just pretty bad.
Yep, and we're just bringing in a ton of interaction, more cheap removal in the form of Flame Slash, some Angers, which are great in the matchup.
Yep.
Ether Gust is not great in the matchup, though. Targeting a big Prowess creature after you go all in on it is nice.
Yep.
And you're also bringing in Molten Rain. Ether Gusting Molten Rain is good.
Molten Rain's become pretty stock, too, so you got to be wary of that one.
Yeah. A couple Weather the Storms here as well, just to gain a little bit of life when I'm trying to stabilize with an Uro or a Yorion. The deck can win through a lot of life gain. If you saw against Gruul Obosh, I cast 2 Life Goes-Ons, the 2 that I brought in. I drew them both in a game, gained 16 life, and you easily dealt 40 damage that game.
Yeah.
So it's not a lights out card. It's a card that buys me a turn or 2, maybe 3 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And that when you have a combo kill like Scapeshift, buying that time is valuable. So we're bringing that into the matchup.
I've had a match where my opponent was at 10, okay? And I have just like Lurrus and 1 Prowess creature. I play enough spells to get exactly 10 damage, and I'm like, oh, I got this Tron player. Then all of a sudden they weather the storm. They ended that turn at 21. I was like, I still won the game, no big deal, but it was absurd. That card can do some damage against this deck.
Dylan Donegan, preemptively GG Jim Davis. under coverage of the Lotus Box event.
Yeah.
When Jim had been playing the game kind of aggressively from the Tron side and made this really aggressive attack, and Dylan ripped a lava dart that easily presented lethal.
Yeah.
And just puts it down, casts all his spells, just throws everything on the table, types GG into the chat, and then Jim just shows him weather the storm.
Yes, justice. That's exactly what happened. I basically was gonna say GG, but it was a mental GG. But
it was glorious to watch.
It was a delight. I bet. Okay, so from my end, I am just bringing in the four Molten Rains, 2 Spell Bombs. Spell Bomb's really good against the Uro part of your draws, and Molten Rain.
And Mystic Sanctuary.
And Mystic Sanctuary, yeah. And then Molten Rain just slowing down your Scapeshift turn could be huge. It's also direct damage. So just a great card here against any big mana deck. Tron, Scapeshift are the main ones.
And control decks. Historically, burn decks have brought in Molten Rain against control decks. And this is a control deck, but also sort of a big mana Scapeshift deck, so it works from both angles.
Exactly, and you're usually taking out at least some of your counter spells. Your cryptics and stuff are just too good against me. But we're
taking out Remand, which would be good against
Remand. Is good against Molten Rain, so exactly that is what I was trying to make as a point. Kolaghan's Command is really bad because some of your removal exiles, some puts it on top, not many of it's putting it to the graveyard here. So basically, I kind of ignore Lurrus. This is your only way to bring it back in the main deck. And then Unearth is something you bring in when games usually slow down and Lurrus dies. But here, it's just not about that. The games are not about that. You go way over the top and just kill me. I'm not bringing back Lurrus at all post-board. I just get to use it as that one turn to maybe play 2 things, and that's good enough. So
whereas against Temur Urza, Kolaghan's Command would be one of your better cards.
Yeah.
The Shatter Effect would be live, but also you bringing back Lurrus would be a very strong play.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would sideboard very differently against this, but you are a combo deck. I'm trying to get you dead as fast as possible. So I'm leaving in Lava Darts. I'm leaving in a lot of Clings, even though they're not insane against you. They're still good.
Yeah.
But so I just want to get you dead. I'm even cutting an Inquisition. Inquisition is definitely the worst hand disruption against you because I can't take Scapeshift with it. And I don't normally want to Inquisition on turn 1. I usually want to play a Prowess creature and then Inquisition. And then on the draw, you've already played your cantrips, and then it's just horrible. So I like trimming on that card.
Okay.
All right. Let's battle.
Let's do it.
But first, let's take a question if you got one.
Sure.
Why do you think that there's been the return to this Temur Scapeshift list instead of the more aggressive primetime builds?
Well, those 2 things are very different decks. So let's...
Well, it's kind of
so I wouldn't say it's not red-green Scapeshift players that are saying, okay, now we have to play Temur Scapeshift.
Yeah.
It's Bant control players and Temur Urza players recognizing that their end game that previously was good enough to take over is no longer good enough, and they need something like Scapeshift that actually just ends the game on the spot to compete in the metagame. So it really is, Scapeshift is just the win condition in your control deck here.
Yeah.
It's not, whereas Scapeshift in the Titan Shift deck is a win condition in a ramp deck, which is much more proactive, much less interactive, and altogether just strategically a very different deck, even though they're both called Scapeshift. So the evolution is coming from a different direction there.
Yep, agreed. People that still want to play these ramp Scapeshift decks, just play Scapeshift. Titan, the green-red versions. But the problem is, they don't get a companion, so they kind of get left behind a little bit. And, I just think that deck is a little one-dimensional and kind of easy to play, Blood Moon just wrecks them. Here, you got Cryptic Commands to bounce Blood Moons. This deck just attacks at a different angle. Plus, you get the best Magic card in the world right now in Yorion.
And it is how clean Scapeshift is as a win condition in these Yorion decks. Previously in the 60-card deck, it was actually kind of awkward to fit enough mountains. Now it's actually easy.
Super easy,
Yorion helps you just generate tons of resources, dig towards your Scapeshift. You have a bunch of cantrips. You have Mystic Sanctuary to rebuy it. So it really is the perfect win condition in this kind of deck. And, Corey being a proponent of the copycat version of a Yorion deck, that is also a deck that's building towards an end game that is unbeatable. It's a little bit less clean because it's a 2-card combo, but it can be a little bit faster. There's some advantages to it. It works really well with Teferi, which is a nice card to have. So there's some advantages to that version.
Both combo pieces work well with Yorion too, so it's kind of just a web that they all kind of play off each other. But yeah, you're 100% right. That is a 1-card combo. Cat combos too, so I mean that does make it just an easier deck to kill. You don't need as many resources, and that's why this deck is just so good.
Yeah.
You know?
So, if you're playing against Bant, Yorion, or Temur Urza, and they're drawing off the top on turn 10, you're probably in good shape. Like, yeah, they have some good draws. If you're playing in that same scenario against this deck, you're just sweating every turn.
Every turn,
Please don't draw Scapeshift. Please don't draw Scapeshift.
And they get to set up things, like just have Remand, double Veil, wait till they have that, and then just be like, okay, Scapeshift.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, I'm dead. Yeah.
And it's not like you can bring in, things like Ruined Halo and all these things that would be good against like red-green type shift are just not very good here because they can also just kill you with Uro or Yorion, draw a million cards, eventually bounce it with Cryptic Command. So, none of those traditional hate cards against Scapeshift decks are good against the controlling Scapeshift decks because they are a control deck first.
Yeah.
And so those cards aren't good against control. They're not going to be good here, even if they nominally stop the namesake card.
Yeah.
So then you're thinking, oh, I need a bunch of discard spells, but discard spells are horrible against Yorion, and they have Mystic Sanctuary to rebuy the Scapeshift.
Yeah.
So it's a very hard deck to interact with, which is why you see this emphasis on putting pressure on your opponent. Corey was able to win that game on turn 4.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Well said. Well said, my friend.
And this hand is great.
Oh boy. Well, we got a close one, but we are on the draw here. This deck can function off a low number of lands, so I think we're gonna risk this one to keep it.
Okay. I will start on Forest, suspend to search.
That's pretty good.
Pretty sure Director Rob's happy with that.
Director Rob probably loving it.
Very, very happy with that.
Excellent draw off the top.
I will go to 19.
Your go.
Okay, so we'll go to 1 counter.
Okay. You a big Search for Tomorrow fan there, Rob?
His Twitter handle
just
is
a little.
@suspend search.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'm a fan as well.
Pass the turn.
Okay, this could be a Quaddle, but it's not Death Touch, so we don't care too much. So it's a pretty decent draw. I'm gonna go with Bobble.
Yep.
Seal.
Yep.
Beatdowns.
3.
Yep.
I'm at 16.
All right. Second main. I will take a Pain for a Soul Scour.
You're at 19.
And I will pass to you.
And step Quaddle.
Okay.
Upkeep, resolve this search.
Sure. It's a scary draw, or it's a scary setup for you, because I have the Quaddle on lockdown with Seal, but if you get to play some very good spell this turn, I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. Tough decision on what to get.
It's got a basic mountain.
Okay. And before you draw, I'm going to take a look at that one as well.
Good timing on this bobble. Want to do it after these searches.
Exactly. So now Quaddle is online, so Seal will have to keep it in check.
You have 2 cards in hand right now?
3.
3. Okay, so you get to see this one, then I get to see it when I draw.
All right, pretty good one.
That is a very good one.
Yeah, Uro is an excellent Magic card on turn 3, that's for sure.
That's the best draw I could have had.
Yeah, you cheater.
So I will play a Snow Forest. I will play Uro.
Okay.
I will go to 19.
Yep.
Draw my card. Put this Scalding Tarn onto the battlefield.
Okay.
And Lightning Bolt the Soulscar Mage.
Soulscar Mage is dead.
Pass the turn.
All right, I'll draw 2.
Yep.
1, 2. Not bad, not bad. So let's start with an Abbot. I'll go to 18.
Yep.
Flip. I will take 3. Go to 15. I'm going to play this, get a Blood Crypt.
Yep. We sealing the Quaddle and getting in there.
It seems like the surface play here, and it makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, let's do that.
So I take 2.
Take 2.
I'm at 17.
All right, your go. I don't feel great about this game.
End step, I will go to 16.
Yep. I think there's a world I'm just dead here. So you can play land 6 and search and kill me.
So land 6 search Scapeshift would kill you.
Or Uro Scapeshift or Growth Spiral removal, Scapeshift, and I just don't really have a ton of pressure coming this turn anyway, so this feels like a game that I should lose.
Also, any fetch land or piece of interaction will be my 5th card in graveyard for this Uro.
Our friend Uro? Sweet. I love that card.
There's not a lot I can have in my hand that's good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You would like to see, like, tapped breeding pool Yorion go.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah,
Even
anger,
that's like...
That's kind of rough. I can't really
you
get
don't
through
have a
that.
Soul
Yeah, I don't like whatever is going to happen this turn.
Rob, should I go for it?
I like that.
Don't
I think
take the coward's way out.
Going for something and missing, I think, is like my only hope. So I like that. Go for it.
Crack Tarn, go to 16.
Okay. Okay. I don't feel good. I didn't feel good at the start of this turn. I just feel worse now. All right, what you got?
Have an Uro.
Is that going for it? Because that doesn't seem like going for it. That's just a good play.
I go to 19.
Yep.
Put this land in.
Okay.
Crack this fetch.
Okay. So you go to 18?
Yep. Anger of the Gods.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I needed to rip the land.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm dead.
Is that a good turn?
Yeah, that seemed good.
You're at 18. I have Scapeshift Crypt Command in hand.
Okay, then. I'm dead. There's no coming back from that one. I just couldn't beat that. I just could not beat that.
This is the Uro by itself, but I also just had 3 great ones on top of it.
Hey, there's nothing better than a Versus Live where every match went to 3 games and we're playing 1 game for the marbles here.
1 game. The small mistake when I lazily clinked in game 1 of the show is just going to come back to bite me.
Good. Good. Excellent. My whole goal with Versus Live is to punish you if you make any small mistake whatsoever. That's usually my goal.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works out. You do get to be on the play for game 3.
I like being on the play here. Big fan.
I think you won every game 1 and I won every game 2, right?
But I was on the draw.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, I was on the draw for every game 1.
No, I was on the play for the first 2 game 1s, and you were on the play for this game 1.
Yeah.
So
we broke serve here. Wait, weren't you just on the play here?
No, because I won the previous match. You were on the play in game 1.
No, this specific game you were on the play.
Yeah, for game 2. Yeah,
for game 2. Okay.
You won every game 1, so I was on the play for every game 2.
Okay, gotcha.
And you've been on the play for every game 3.
Prowess is a heck of a game 1 deck. I mean, it is just kind of a free win machine because decks aren't focused enough to have a ton of removal. But then when you do want to beat these decks, you can beat them. You know, just kill the Prowess creatures. But Magic's a lot tougher.
It's very difficult to beat this deck and this deck at the same time.
Yes.
Because if you overload on removal, your Yorion Scapeshift matchup.
I agree. If you play 1v2 against this deck and that deck, it's going to be very tough to win those matchups.
That's what's keeping people from really overloading on removal in their main, because they do need pressure to beat these Yorion decks.
I have a deck that beats both. Do you want to hear it?
Is it Copycat?
It's 4-color Copycat Yorion Fires. Okay?
Never could have seen that coming.
Hey, I know I don't want to alarm y'all, but it's been broken. Come on, 0 landers. I mean, I'll keep any 1 lander here, but a 0 lander.
I'll keep my hand.
I don't like where this is going.
This hand is not awesome. But it's fine. It's good.
Capable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy keep. Can't.
If you beat me, though, I refuse to let you win without casting my beautiful bird serpent, okay? I mean, you got to at least bring it in once, you know?
Oh, I died on turn 4 1 game.
Yeah.
And then didn't need it the other.
Whenever you do your thing, you usually do not need... Okay, well, that sounds good.
Send 1 back, please.
No, I'd like to keep all of these. Please.
Judge.
I think it's this. It feels kind of bad, but yeah, let's send this back. And take 2.
I will go to 18.
Your go.
I will Play a Ketria Triumph.
All right. Anything but killing my thing there. That would have been pretty brutal. Okay. That's a card right on time. Draw 2. Let's go with sack. I think we'll get a blood crypt here. Take 3.
Really hard for Corey to stay above 18, which is the mark for an extra turn against Scapeshift. But
Yep, exactly.
maybe if you had like a double Blackfoot plus draw, you'd be really cognizant of that.
Yeah. 17. All right, I'm going to Metamorphose.
Yep.
We'll go with red black. Not a great draw there, but we are going to go with a Thoughtseize. I'll go to 15. Red floating.
I had the removal spell, but I didn't really want to shock or play a fetch for mountain to cast it.
Yeah, and I get to punish you for it. I think that's going to be my hit here because I do want to just try to Lurrus as well at some point. So yeah, we'll take that.
So you go to 15?
Yep, and then I'll play a spell bomb and get in there for 4.
I go to 14.
Okay, your go.
Definitely very punishing. Yeah, I guess you knew about that one. So now...
Oh yeah, what was it again? Search, right?
Yeah, it's search.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I kind of want to just play tapped Steam Vents, suspend a search, and set up weather in a little bit.
Weather that storm.
You have 3 in hand?
I have 2.
2.
I have 2. That's interesting.
I guess, so what's happening is if I suspend a search on turn 2, I'm going to be able to Yorion on turn 4.
My beautiful bird serpent. Yeah, I'm making an emote where I put an afro onto Yorion. How sweet is that going to be?
Can't wait.
I shouldn't have spoiled it, though. Dang it.
I think I want to Abundant Growth.
Okay.
And I kind of want Abundant Growth to fetch land.
Yeah,
just
that's
so I save
nice
myself
trick.
a life.
Yep. It's a good trick to do.
So let's play Wooded Foothills, Abundant Growth that.
Okay.
And then suspend a search.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Alrighty.
So we can play tap Steam Vents next turn or get another cantrip down to make our Yorion better. Maybe Uro next turn or, play a removal spell. Do a lot of things.
I'll go to 14.
14 all.
I think I can just get a basic land now. Doesn't matter too much. And then I think I'm just going to take advantage of Lurrus here. Lurrus Bauble.
Yep.
And attack for 2.
I go to 12.
And I will say go. Hey, your upkeep, see what you're drawing. Okay, that's a great draw. That's an excellent draw.
Yeah, let's Uro.
Okay.
I go to 15.
Yep.
Play this Steam Vents.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right, draw 2 cards. 1, 2.
Okay. This is the big turn. How much damage am I taking?
That was a great draw on my part. That was an excellent draw. So I only have one option here for Bauble, so trigger. I have a Molten Rain. I can either take the Triome or take the Foothills, so you lose Abundant Growth. Both of them are adding a land of any color, but if I... So here's the thing. I'm helping out Uro by hitting Woodfalls, which will probably force me to sack a spell bomb and get no value. Or I'm helping out Yorion by leaving Growth, both plays that you're probably going to want to and kind of have to make this turn. So I think I would rather make Yorion bad. Or yeah, so not as good. So let's do that. Take 2.
I go to 13.
13. And then let's go with Spellbomb.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3 spells.
Back for 7.
7, yep.
I go to 6.
Okay, and I will say go.
Upkeep, search.
Yep.
I'm going to get a forest, so I have second green for Uro.
Okay.
If I can find one. This is one land for one card short.
And I'm going to make sure that Uro is not coming into play.
Yeah, you can respond to any spell or fetch land I play. Of course.
Yep. And then I'm going to take a look at whatever card you're about to draw.
One card in hand.
1, yep. Going to start my turn with 3 cards. Kind of punished for not getting another black source if I were to need the spell bombs, but I think it should be okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you look at this, then I draw it. It's a fetch land.
So normally that would be a sick turn, just Misty Rainforest, Crack, Uro, and then Weather the Storm. That would be absurd. But I am able to contain that. Spellbomb is just a tricky card to just have sitting laying around. Really tough to play against, just either from a Lurrus deck or a Yorion deck.
That Molten Rain was really good.
It was good. It was so good. That's like exactly what I needed.
Okay, how do I play this turn?
And I get to just F6. Well, I better not F6. I need to respond, but the equivalent.
Okay, crack fetch.
Okay.
I go to 5.
Spellbomb you.
Yeah, force the spell bomb. I'm going to then respond to my own fetch land
Okay.
with an Ice Fang Waddle.
Okay.
Draw a card.
Sure.
This might change how I fetch.
Oh, okay.
It was the worst possible.
Excellent. Failed to find. So you're at 5 then, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I am at 5.
You search this turn as well, right? Or
Yes.
Okay.
So I can weather for 9 here.
It's still huge, yeah. Still
I think
not
I just
feeling
get
great.
a tapped Steam Vents.
Okay.
Or I can do it for 9, or I can just wait. The problem is with that is all you need to do is play 1 removal spell on the Ice Fang, and you present lethal because I'm at exactly 5.
Yep.
So that is awkward. So I think you're basically never going to give me a chance to gain more than 9.
Yeah.
So-
9 seems pretty. When I know about it. When I don't know about it, there's Lava Dart shenanigans, that would make kind of sense, but.
So I will go to 14.
Okay.
And, normally if, I had a 6th land here, Corey would just be dead to a land on my next turn.
Yeah.
And this weather would be great, but I just have to pass.
I love that. Okay. So draw and then draw a bobble.
Yep.
Ooh. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Let's see what we can do. Abbott.
Yep.
It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. I'll play a land. I think bolting this matters. It doesn't have Death Touch, so it's actually not a threatening card right now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I shouldn't have gotten Steam Vents.
Yeah, it's not very threatening right now, but...
Wasn't even thinking about that. Well, should have gotten a basic there.
So I can just attack into it here. 0 spells cast, so I could just try to like bolt you. That seems wrong. I think we'll just start off with a Thoughtseize targeting you.
Well, I drew a second Scapeshift.
No, that is not what I wanted to see.
So I guess now that was a good draw.
Yeah.
Thought it was horrible. You're at 12.
Okay, I'm at 12 and you're at 14, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now Bolt on Quaddle still seems like something I should do. It's either Bolt Quaddle or Bolt your face. And I think it actually gets through more damage because I can get Swift Spear up to 4 power. So let's go like this. So this is up to 3. Now Bolt puts it to 4. Yeah, I think it still just makes more sense.
So you take 1, you go to 11.
Yep. I'll attack for
7.
Yep, attack for 7. Now the question is, okay, before I do that, I think I'm actually going to Spellbomb you.
Okay.
Because I could top deck a Bobble. I played a land. Okay, so 7.
I'm at 7.
And I gain 3, go to 14.
Sure.
And pass to you. Upkeep, let's take a look. Okay. Oh my god.
So if I Uro into a land, I just win?
A green source.
Yeah, it needs to be a green source. I don't know why I got Steam Vents, so I'm just getting punished for every play I make.
Yeah. You just have to do it. So
yeah, like that gains 3 life, which is almost as good as Yorion blocking
I forgot about
here, right?
Yeah, no,
so those are the 2 options. But in either case, I like need to draw a land. I guess this lets me like top deck, but I give you an extra turn.
Yeah.
Where like you could just kill me anyway. I get to block here, but this is 4 damage already. 3 spells. A lightning bolt kills me. A lava dart kills me. A cling comes pretty close to killing me.
God, and if I just didn't shock in a land or whatever, I'd be at 16 and I wouldn't be dead. But then you just get to destroy my board and I'm still screwed. So
okay. Or I can also like draw interaction here.
Get the clip machine ready.
I could draw anger here. That would be insane.
Yes. I don't think you're dead yet, but
just draw a 4 mana card.
All right, draw a bobble.
Yep.
Draw for the turn. All right, Metamorphose, red.
Yeah. Any spell kills me.
Boom, Bolt, Cling.
Yeah. So I was gonna die if I Yorioned too.
Yeah, but if you hit a land, you still just kill me. But yeah, I got to play like 4 spells here. Woo! That was insane.
I have so few bad draws there.
Yeah, there was not many.
Yeah, if I had fetched, I guess it was a Steam Vents that was fetching, so it would have gotten an island. So there's no way I could have got, I should have gotten an island off of that.
Or a breeding pool, right?
No, because I need to be snow for the Quaddle. Like you ended up finding the bolt for it.
Yeah.
So I think it was right to leave myself with only the 2 green sources.
Yeah. Wait, did you fetch that turn you had Quaddle? Was it a fetch?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you
it was a Misty Rainforest, wasn't it? Yeah, so I should have gone forest.
Well, the thing is, what you should have done is just played it and said go. Because then you threaten to get it, and then you get a breeding pool at end step.
But what I wanted to do was force a Nihil Spellbomb to stop you from drawing a card off of it on your next turn.
Oh, but that's so minimum and doesn't really matter.
I mean, I thought every card would...
But I had 2 Spellbombs in play, so I could still do that, But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there, but... Woo! All right, well, that was close. We're a little past time, so we're going to do our wrap-up here, but that was a good match. That was a good
one.
Those are just great. Modern has just always been such good games. It's unreal. But I'll be defending the title. I guess Lurrus ain't so bad. You never cast Yorion. That was your downfall. Just not cast. You should cast that card. It's good. No, I'm just kidding. You never had an opportunity to. All right, Rob.
The plan was to cast it that turn, but then the bolt still would have killed me. But
playing
really any combination of 3 spells.
Yeah,
you saw so many cards.
So many extra cards. I actually drew more cards than you, and you're the blue deck.
It's possible that like I win that game if I just shock myself to kill the Swift Spear.
For sure, you win that game.
Saving the damage and getting the tap lands down made way more sense. It also let me aggressively get islands and snow permanents to set everything up. I think it's right to play the Triumph on turn 1.
Yeah, basically, I don't actually. I think you just kill every prowess creature on site. If you killed it, my hand was just spells that did nothing to land, and then I just had to eventually win with Lurrus. This card dealt like 9 on the first 2 turns.
Yeah, that's just how the game ended up playing out. I never drew a second piece of interaction.
Exactly, and I could have just had another Swift Spear, and that play would be bad, you know. But it's just contextually how my hand was set up, it would have been backbreaking for me. But you know, you just can't know that. Nope. You know, and I bottomed a Swift Spear. Oh, it's not there anymore because I shuffled. But I bottomed another Prowess creature because my hand was excellent if that creature lived. But if it died, it was bad, and the Swift Spear wasn't going to be good enough. So I decided to go with that. But yeah, anyways, insane games. Rob, can we thank some subs here? We'll thank some sponsors, and we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, we got some subs today. Craig H.A. for 13 months. Hal126 for 8 months. Hoxurisis, I guess is how you say that, for 11 months. And one of my favorite names, Niv Biscuit, for 3 months.
Niv Biscuit. That is a good one.
Got to risk it to get Niv Biscuit.
That is impressive. All right, thank you so much for the support on our Twitch channel. If you want to support SCG in another way and get some awesome perks, you can head over to starcitygames.com/join-premium, and you get $7.99, gets you exclusive content, and then you get additional perks, 5% off all sealed products, booster boxes, anything like that, 10% off Magic singles, and then 15% off any kind of supplies like deck box, sleeves, playmats, anything like that. So subscribe today.
And when it comes to supplies, you know, we here at Versus Live use Ultimate Guard, including their katana sleeves. So be sure to, check those out on Star City Games website. They're available there. And if you're premium, you'll get 15% off some of the best sleeves on the market.
Oh, God, the value. The value. And if you want to be as comfy as at least me and Ross, Rob, unfortunately, is still in the nail chair, but, you know, not bad. But if you want to be as comfy as us and pick up a Carnox chair for yourself, you can go to carnox.com/SCG. Get yourself 10% off one of these awesome gaming chairs.
Yes. And you can also get 10% off of our apparel, which all comes from Coalesce Apparel. Head on over to coalesceapparel.shop. Use the gift code SCG, and you will get 10% off of your purchase there. Any, shirts, hoodies, all of that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Get yourself a nice roll, Todd.
Yeah.
You let me down, Todd, again.
You let him down, yeah. But honestly, it all came down to your one closest thing that let you down there. Yeah. So that was the difference of your marbles here.
But yeah, how magic goes sometimes.
These shirts are great. I'm waiting for a keeping it 95. And then you got it. I will just say, give me all of them. Take my money.
Give me every single one.
Yeah, keep it
even
at 95.
The ones that don't fit.
Oh yeah. Smalls, whatever. I'm
just
in.
Wallpaper your house with them.
Exactly. Speaking of wallpapering my house, this is going to
be like a Hitchcock movie at the Baumeister residence.
Exactly. All right, everyone. I want to thank you so much for watching today's edition of Versus Live. I'm not going to lie, I had a blast mixing it up and not playing Yorion. Lurrus is pretty sweet, and this deck is also super sweet. It's very, very good. I do not think it's unbeatable, but I think if you're into these type of aggressive red decks, this is the best one, and it just it gives a lot of room to kind of outvalue your opponent in a way that the rest of the Prowess decks don't, mostly cling to dust like we were saying. So huge advocate of this deck. If you want to check out a little bit more content of this deck, my Dropping Bombs will be live tomorrow morning, where I do play this deck through 3 awesome matches, and they were an absolute delight, let me tell you. So, all right, that is going to do it for Versus Live. So for me, Ross, Rob, we will see you Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye.